The discovery of the last World War II straggler in Guam made national headlines in 1972. Shoichi Yokoi was found hiding in the jungles for nearly 28 years after the war ended.
When his discovery was reported in the news, I was like in the primary school, and so I could clearly remember it was a big news, and then it was like, oh, he was a hero and a star.
Japan Consul General Rumiko Ishigami reminiscing when the news first broke. Now she's had a part in facilitating communication with Yokoi's nephew to donate several items from the Yokoi Museum in Nagoya, Japan, to the Guam Museum. Guam Museum curator Dr. Mike Bavacqua.
One of the many treasures that the Guam Museum is responsible for taking care of is the Yokoi collection.
The Guam Museum has the largest collection of Yokoi's items in the world, highlighting not just his story of resilience, but the Chamorro story of compassion at a time when hostility was still expected.
This is one reason why I feel that it's important too, telling Yokoi's story as part of telling the Chamorro story. Is that one thing that Yokoi and other stragglers felt is that if they were captured, they would surely be killed or brutalized, that the Chamorro people would hurt them and kill them because of what had happened during the war, how the Japanese had treated Chamorros badly.
The two Chamorro hunters, Jesus Dueñas and Manuel Garcia, who found Yokoi, instead feeding him a warm meal before handing him over to authorities.
We have many of the items that were found in his cave when he was discovered in January 1972 by two Chamorro hunters, and many of them are prominently featured in our Hinanauta permanent exhibit. But one of the things that we often get questions about is that tens of thousands of people see Yokoi's items, his collection here in the museum, but people often ask, especially if they're not from Japan, what became of Yokoi?
Though different from what people are used to associating with Yokoi, like the items he made to survive in the jungle, the new additions will be able to answer what became of him in his later years.
But these items here, pottery and sculptures that he made, reflect a man who was coming to terms with his experiences later in life. That this was a form of therapy for Yokoi, a form of creative expression, but also a form of therapy and allowing him to reflect on what he had experienced.
The pottery will be displayed in the Guam Museum's E Hinanatao permanent exhibit. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.